Hi, I'm Carrie Ann Stout, founder and CEO of Vinco Bar Exam Coaching. And we are continuing on with our series of interviewing our coaches so you can get to know a little bit more about them and a little bit more about Vinco. And today we're here with Josiel. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me today.
It's going to be great. So let's just jump right in with our first question. I get this question asked a lot, which is, you do bar prep? Who wants to do bar prep? That sounds awful. Because most lawyers don't have like the fondest memories of going through the bar exam. And so maybe you could share with us like why, you're a working attorney, you've got a busy life. Why do you choose to spend some of your free time doing bar prep with others?
So for me personally, I think it's really rewarding to help others because when I was studying for the bar, I faced a lot of challenges, and I think that going through it and having gone through Vinco, like it's been really rewarding to have someone help you and guide you through this difficult process. And I think a lot of people face challenges as well, not just myself. So
Oh, yes.
being able to, so being able to like conquer the whole bar exam studying process and the exam and pass, I think for me, it's really rewarding to be able to help another person going through similar challenges, or people who really don't know what's going on or feel lost or feel that they're not doing enough. And I think that helping someone go through the whole entire process is really something that I really want to do. And I don't want someone to go through a difficult time when studying for the bar.
Yeah, or at least, we can make it less difficult sometimes, but sometimes it's just about being there. It's like that we don't necessarily make it easier per se. We make it more manageable because
Yeah, right.
there's nothing easy about the bar. And as you said, sometimes it's harder than others depending on a person's individual situation, right? It could be extra hard. So I think it's great that we get something out of it too as the coaches, finding it rewarding and enjoyable ourselves. And so being someone who is, mid-attorney, passed bar exam, like here we are, but it probably wasn't all rainbows and butterflies, your bar prep experience, and you already
Definitely not.
having some struggles. So what's like just one thing that you really like struggled with, and how did you get through it when you were studying?
So one of the things that I struggled with, I think, was when I had one of the regular commercial bar exam courses. A lot of it consisted of videos, and they took up a lot of time. And I think in the beginning of the studying period, I would spend a lot of time watching videos, but it wasn't hands-on practice.
Mm-hmm.
So I think watching those videos and kind of maybe dozing off a little bit here and there, or not really being active in my learning, was probably the biggest challenge. And going through it, I realized that doing more practice and studying more and being an active learner was the best way to go about it.
And that's when you got through it and
Yes.
saw the results. Yeah. And so sort of like in that, like that sort of almost answers my next question, but I bet you have even more insight on this because there's lots of them. What is something that you see as like a trap that students fall into when they're studying for the bar exam? Like you're on the outside and you're like, stop, don't do that. but they still fall for it. What's one or two things that you see there?
I think one of the traps is doing just whatever a schedule might say to do in a commercial bar course, where you see, oh, do this and this for questions and review this on your own without you like actively pursuing what works for you. So when I see people that they watch the videos and they're like, oh, I saw the videos today and I did 20 questions and that's it. And they didn't really actively see what they got wrong in the questions they did wrong. They didn't see why they got certain questions right. So they're just kind of following a guideline that is not really tailored to their learning style. I think that's one of the biggest traps.
Checking the boxes, right? And it's heartbreaking because that's what you're being told to do. And
right.
I say this over and over again. I've probably said this in like 3 of these videos already, but like we have no like problem with the bar prep companies. We love them. Their materials are great, but it's that schedule, like their job as like a big bar prep company, their job isn't to make a custom schedule for everyone. Their job is to provide a program, right? And they do that and they do that well, but the students need to do exactly what you're saying, which is not just check off boxes, but actually think, what do I personally need to do? And that makes a huge difference. So if you, and I'm sure people ask you for advice now all the time, and
Yeah.
you're in a working environment where you're seeing like new people come in who might be taking the bar, might be repeating taking the bar, and I'm sure they're asking you like, well, what should I do? Like, how do I pass? What's like just one or two pieces of advice that you would give someone studying for the bar?
I think the first piece of advice that I give them is to do what they think works best for them. Whatever their learning style was, either in undergrad, high school, law school, what they thought that helped them, like to learn material, to memorize like black letter law, to kind of focus on that so that they can learn the material.
Yeah,
And then the
don't be
second
afraid.
piece, yeah, and then the second piece of advice that I usually give them is to do as much practice as possible, like from multiple sources, not just whatever they have. So try to mix it up, because the bar isn't just one set of questions. You're going to get a lot of different multiple choice questions.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really interesting and something I haven't heard yet in these conversations, like switching it up, not just getting it from one place. I do feel like people are going to start thinking I like told you all to say practice questions. And I swear I'm just claiming like I told them what kinds of questions I would ask them, but I did not suggest answers. And that just goes to show like practice is really important. And I hope that people take you up on that advice too.
Yeah.
But also the learning style thing too. I don't want to overlook that. Like being able to take what you're saying, which is like, okay, I have the materials from my bar prep company, but what do I need to do with them to make it stick in my head is also really great advice.
Yeah.
So the last question is, you could do bar prep anywhere, right? Vinco's certainly not the only bar prep,
Right.
bar prep business out there. I think it's helpful for our students to know, like, why do you choose to spend your time with us? And maybe that could give them an idea of why they might want to choose to spend their time with Vinco as well.
So I think just from personal experience, the difference with Vinco is that it really is like a family. There's kind of like this tailored, like one-on-one approach where you feel that the people who are coaching you are really worried, and you're
Really worried, really concerned, really invested.
yeah, they're really invested in, and they're worried about like your well-being, like your state of mind, whether not just the material, but like how you're doing, like mentally, physically. And it's a very like hands-on approach where you guys all really care about the results. You care about how we feel. You care about how we're going through the process. And I think you're really not going to get that anywhere else. And you,
Vinco, the bar prep company that worries. Like, seriously though, we do. And it's like, you feel that too. It's like, even when you like recommend someone to work with us, you feel that pressure of like, oh, I want to help you and be there with you and get you through that.
yeah.
And
Yeah, and I didn't mean worry in a negative way, but I meant like a concern, like
yeah,
for your well-being generally, and that you're doing everything you need to do, that you're feeling well, that you're following all the steps that are required, and that like generally you feel that you have that guidance that's going to bring you from point A to B at the end, and that everything's going to work out at the end.
well, and I think that you just hit on something really important too, that we're looking at the whole person, right? It's like there's the studying and the what you're doing academically, but we are genuinely concerned, like, how's your mental state? How are you doing
Right.
physically? And glad to see that that is translating through. But like, to be fair, we do also worry. So that is, I feel like that is just part of our job. It
Yeah.
all comes from a place of love. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with me today and answering these questions, and looking forward to getting started with you on this bar prep season. So for those of you out there who might be interested in learning some more about Vinco, you can find us at vincoprep.com, and I'll see you all next time.